I know it was a big thing in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, that you can have the successful career, the amazing relationship, the optimal health, the, great social life, the status, all of that, if you work hard enough for it at the same time. And I just think it is a big lie. I don't think it's a big lie. I know it's a big lie. And it's been proven over and over again that this is actually true. So, really, the idea of this video came to me this morning. I've been reading these 3 books over the past few weeks. I've been like reading super fast because I haven't been watching any show. It's amazing what happens when you don't watch that much show. But the books are Rethinking Positive Thinking, Company of One. This was a book club book. And our book club book now is called Scarcity, Why Having Too Little Means So Much. Dove into this earlier this week. Really good. Both of these actually, Rethinking Positive Thinking and Scarcity is very scientific, a lot of studies, it'll get your brain to maybe hurt and ache a little bit. Let me roll these blinds down a bit. But good reads, important important knowledge and education to get, especially if you're someone who feels like you are not doing enough. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough for a great relationship, a good enough parent, successful enough, whatever it is. That's why I just think it's so important to not consume so much, aspirational media, because it's just not real. It's not a even keel, everyday sustainable feeling of just being happy and having, inevitable amount of experiences, happiness. Like, these things are fleeting moments. Anyway, the point of this video, I've been speaking to a client about this, and I wanted to share it with you because if she's feeling this, if I felt it in the past, I'm pretty sure I am not the only ones, right? So if you are someone, I really speak to midlife, but it really doesn't matter if you're in midlife or not. But I really like to speak to the midlife, people, women, because this is where we are kind of like at a crossroads. We can choose to keep chasing the carrot, or we can choose to be like, all right, enough of trying to be everything to everyone and to try to accomplish everything all at the same time. You're probably a bit burned out or very burned out. Maybe accomplished a lot in multiple areas of life, but you don't feel the way you thought that you were going to feel by working so hard and pushing so hard. And now you're at a point to where you're like, okay, what's got to give? Like, something's got to give. I just want to feel content. I want to feel challenged, but also like your life is sustainable. So a couple of things. One, I do recommend all 3 of these books. You don't have to buy them. You can go to the library. I went to the library. I'm a big library checker outer kind of person, especially with my daughter now too. And I really love, like, for the career woman, Company of One. Let's say you've been a very high achieving, successful woman for many, many years, like my client, like myself, and you're like, it's just not enough. Like, this isn't it. Meaning not enough, like, oh, the money isn't everything. Like, I don't feel the way I thought I was going to feel. And maybe you're ready to kind of like scale back a little bit, maybe not work full time and be a mom. Or maybe you are ready to, maybe you have a bigger business, right, with several employees, and you're like, man, I'm tired of waking up feeling so much anxiety and feeling like there's never enough time in the day. So maybe it's time to scale back your business to maybe just you and, admin help and maybe a contractor here and there. Maybe it is time to shift careers because you're just done with this one career and you want to shift into a different field, and you are like able to do that, right? You have the resources to do that, but maybe your brain and your mind is getting in the way of like, oh, I shouldn't do this. I have it really good. But if you're suffering inside and you're feeling exhausted and you're just not fulfilled, like it's time for a change. That's a sign. Pay attention to that. And also, maybe you're at a point to where you're like, okay, I feel lucky, I feel blessed. I had this good family life, or I had this good relationship, or I'm just really, content, just like, doing life on your terms. Maybe you're single, you travel a lot, you're single, you have an animal you love, you're not interested in a relationship, whatever it is. But maybe you feel like you're happy, you're blessed, you're grateful, but maybe you're like, I want to feel more fulfilled, right? I think a lot of fulfillment comes from living within our values, right? Like you're living in alignment with what your values are and who you truly want to be. And a lot of fulfillment comes from making day-to-day progress in the goals that mean something to you. Okay. So right now in my own life, and this client that I'm working with right now, and I feel like a lot of like where I'm at in my own life, I attract those people that are interested in working with me. But she is at a point to where she is, in a relationship. She doesn't have any children. She's been quite successful in her career, and she realizes that putting her career as a top priority, and having this relationship to where it's good, but she wants more of like a connection. Like she is starting to realize, and this could be a case by case, it was a case for me though, and it's for her, to where when you put something as a top priority, there's going to be other things that suffer. So right now she does not feel that great in her body. She feels like she should be healthier later in life. She wants to be healthier, but she feels like she doesn't have the time or the bandwidth to really focus on those day-to-day habits to live this, we can call it, healthy lifestyle. I like to call it like a healthy lifestyle, yes, but really prioritizing self-care and really respecting yourself, right? So if you are at a point, and I'm not going to go into like break down all the details. I just want to, plant this seed and just remind you that, and these books can help you. I just want to plant the seed and remind you that in order to make a lot of worthwhile progress, really feel like you are accomplishing this thing that's really important to you, this goal, and to really master this area of your life, it's other things are going to have to take a backseat for a little bit or not get so much of your attention. So like for my client, and also this is my case, health and fitness. I mean, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, and it takes consistency with certain habits that you have to do on repeat. And that takes bandwidth to create that new identity of, okay, I'm, healthy. I take care of myself. I respect myself. I'm, just prioritizing my health and my fitness in midlife. Like your bandwidth, that's going to take bandwidth because it's going to take you really focusing and tunneling in and zoning in on healthier habits to where you got to start creating this new programming, okay, and habitual behavior, all right, and really just this new identity of, okay, this is what a healthy, fit, self-respecting, someone who's really good at self-care, this is what they do every day. So you may not be able to put so much energy into continuing to really excel at your career. And is that something that's okay? Right? You may not be able to be that mother who is with her child, every waking moment of the day. My client that I'm talking about, like in this video, she doesn't have any children, but I think about myself, I have a child, and there are some things that I have to sacrifice to really prioritize my self-care and my health and fitness that come with parenting. Like in evening walks, I take those solo so I can go at the pace that I want to go at. So my husband and daughter, they do their after dinner walk together. So I can do my after dinner walk the way I want to do it, the miles I want to do, and at the pace I want to do. So I sacrifice that 40 to 50 minute time frame with my family so I can take care of myself. And some people may look at that like, oh, that's selfish or that is neglectful. I mean, maybe in someone else's eyes, but like not to me, because I know that if I take care of me, okay, and if my client, let's bring it back to her, not just me, takes care of herself, something is like you can't show up in all places all the time, right? So it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice or negotiate? Okay. What I really love, and hopefully you're still sticking with me, what I really love about rethinking positive thinking is this concept in here called WOOP, WOOP, wish, outcome, obstacle, because obstacles are going to happen when you're trying to create new habits and goals and, accomplish things you want to accomplish. The P is plan. If something happens, then I will. Like if so-and-so calls to meet up for a happy hour, then I will tell her, no, I can't. I have a session with my trainer tonight, right? So I really love this. It's not all about positive thinking, wishful thinking, because that's not really going to help you move the needle ahead. It's a bit more like airy-fairy, but this really is a solid concept, WOOP, of how to prioritize, get clear on what your goal is, and prepare you for the obstacle that's going to pop up, and then what your plan is for when that obstacle happens. Just something to help you accomplish, to stay on track with your goals, with these new habits you want to create for yourself, whether it be a healthy lifestyle or, whatever it is, fill in the blank. I want you to know, let me kind of like go back to the beginning. You can't have it all at the same time. There are different seasons and chapters in our life to where we prioritize what's important to us. Like a lot of times what we prioritize younger in life, it's not necessarily as important to us or as aligned with us, because we're really just trying to fit into societal norms and like prove ourselves. But there comes a point in life, okay, and I think it's mid-age when you hit that 40s mark, to where you're like, okay, I've been playing by these rules. I don't feel the way I want to feel. This isn't the life I really want to have. Okay, how can I reorganize and restructure to live more in alignment? These books are practical when it comes to like really any, health and fitness, parenting, whatever, personal goal or relational goal you have. This is great. If you are a businesswoman and you're kind of like at that phase to where you're like, all right, I'm getting a little burned out. I like my job, but I can't like make it number one at the sacrifice of this relationship or at my health and my fitness or whatever it is. This will help you think differently. And I really love this book, Scarcity, because it really helps you realize that you only have so much bandwidth in your brain to carry loads of, thinking about, certain things at a certain time. Okay. And you only have so much willpower, and you only have so much, just like mental energy and stamina to go around. And there's other things on scarcity. I'm only in like the first 5 chapters, but if you are noticing like, oh, this is too much, I can't sustain this, I want to do these things, but that book Scarcity will help you understand like, hey, don't beat yourself up, because your brain, your program here is only designed to help you focus in on, one thing at a time to get really good at. So anyway, client, if you're watching this, like, I'm glad that you are at a point in your life and that you've, just reached out to get help, to be like, okay, I need to, change my old ways, because now you're at this point to where you're like, I can't keep doing the things that I've been doing because it's costing me too much, right? We all know that when we hit that 40s mark, we really got to double down on taking care of our health. We know that. And we also need to double down if you really want, relationships. I just think, far ahead. And I know that you told me this too. Like your relationships, you want to have more connected, meaningful, fulfilling relationships, because at the end of the day, that's really where fulfillment and true happiness comes from, is the people in your life. in your health, so you can feel good spending time with these people that you love. And of course, it's definitely helpful to have some money in the bank so you're not, stressed about that, because that's not good either. But I just wanted to just validate and just, again, give that reminder, because I'm all about the reminders, that it's a lie that you can have everything all at the same time and at once. It's just not true. There's different seasons and different chapters, and different stages of life, to where we can really focus in and hone in on certain areas of our life. And you just got to ask yourself, well, what's important to you? Not to society, not to this person, but what's important to you at this stage in your life? And why is it so critical that you really start taking these, like, really taking on this worthwhile challenge of changing behavior and action and belief, to start creating this new identity of someone who does value her relationships, and here's the actions to prove that, or someone who really does value and want to value and feel healthy and good. This is what the behavior looks like. This is what the thought process looks like. This is what the actions look like. Okay. So I'm excited to be helping you on this, client. And also, those of you watching, like, I hope that this is just a reminder and a validation that nothing's wrong with you. You're not a failure. You're not, like, not smart enough. You're not, like, you have been told, we have been sold that you should be able to take care of yourself, excel at your career, be an amazing parent, have this amazing relationship all at the same time. And it just ain't true. It's just not the case. Okay. And stop beating yourself up if you have been, because you don't have all of those narrowed in and doing 100% at all of them, because you can't. You got to focus on really one thing at a time, maybe two. Like, I look at myself, the parenting and my health and fitness. Those are my top priorities. And like with my work and my career, I was successful for a very long time. I still see myself as successful, but now I just really have scaled back on how I show up and how much I invest into my career and the effort there, because I just don't have the bandwidth for it. So I'm okay scaling back and doing things more of on a light load. And I encourage you to think about that too. If you're interested to challenge your thinking a bit, challenge your brain a bit, and really just challenge how you show up for life a bit in a positive way, Rethinking Positive Thinking is a good one. Company of One is a good one. And this book, Scarcity, Why Having So Little Means So Much, is a good one to get you thinking too. Highly recommend. Also, this is the inner work, the deeper work that I do with my clients. I have been a life and confidence coach for women for nearly 10 years. If you are at a point, like if what you have stayed with me with my rambling on and you're ready to really make some, really significant to you, positive improvement in your life, whether it be in your relationships, maybe your relationship with yourself, maybe professionally. And, this comes along with setting some good boundaries. This comes along with reprogramming how you think and some identity work. If you're ready to create these healthy habits, cultivate healthy habits and really just start doing the inner work, healing some stuff, letting it go, and really just show up as what I like to call a confident woman unleashed. I would love to help you. You can learn more about how to work with me if you're interested. In the description below, you can check out my website. It's nikkimcmillan.com. You can learn more about my experience there, professionally and personally. There's a bunch of great testimonials, very honest ones that you may or may not like to hear, but I appreciate the honesty in these testimonials of the women that I've helped over the last almost decade, and where they were, what wasn't working anymore, what they really just got serious about and committed to, and the transformation that it brought about ultimately. So check out my website below if you want to learn more about that and how to work with me personally. And there's links throughout to book in a free clarity call. We can have a discussion. and take it from there. If this was helpful for you today, my love, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I invite you to do that if you want to keep hearing, from me, these reminders, these aha moments, these love notes. If you want to get a notification on your YouTube, I do these about 2 to 3 times a week. So I invite you to subscribe if you want to get notified when I publish a new, whatever it is I'm going to talk about for the day. All right. I appreciate your time. Have a beautiful day. And I will see you in the next video, or maybe talking to you on the phone very soon. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.